Doom push over in mid, able to take it. We'll see if Singularity are able to strike back and have their next
I don't
opponent
think
be
there's any
Na'Vi
specific
instead of dropping down 2 losers. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Kefka for this second game. Phoenix banned out. I'm not really sure if I like Phoenix in general, dude. What are your thoughts on the hero?
I'm not sure. Sometimes I really love it. I feel like it's so good if you can not lose early. But it's kind of weak in lane. You know, you generally play it as a 5 because it's kind of bad as a 4. But then your safe lane is kind of weak. Like if you're a Phoenix support trying to zone an offlaner, you're gonna get killed, and that's like his main weakness. So, but if you can pick it in a way that doesn't happen, I think the hero is always great. It's super good with so many heroes, and it's just insane if you can manage to get to mid to late game, almost against anything. But not sure if this ban is specific. Kind of random. They just first banned this game, so I'm not sure. But CM opening, Steam Singularity going with Abaddon. I need to learn that. Ember Spirit, Secret going with OD. So I wonder if the OD is a response to the Ember. Actually, it's a response to the Abaddon. My bad.
Hey man, I call him Abaddon and Abaddon both, so you're not alone for sure. No one really cares anyway, let's be honest. But yeah, definitely a good hero defensively to have from that mid lane. I do like OD a lot as far as that is concerned. Like, there are not many mid laners that can save other players. It's pretty much just like, I'll do damage or I'll initiate, but OD kind of does it all. Has an okay matchup versus the Ember Spirit as well, but it is picked up rather early. You know, OD is occasionally banned out, but you're looking at some of the other heroes that are like always banned out, like Terrorblade, that they could have picked up and been pretty happy with. Team Secret gonna once again choose what I expect to be mid one's hero very, very early.
Yeah, I'm assuming that as well. Actually, when I think about OD, I feel like this hero is actually so good. Like, what is his weakness? He doesn't have any. I guess he's weak against BKBs, but Ember and Abaddon does not buy BKBs almost ever. It's very rare. So actually, that's why you can pick it here, actually, because you have seen 2 cores and neither can buy BKB. So it actually works because of that. So that's pretty nice. They're gonna ban out the Nyx. Why not? This hero wrecks not only OD but also CM to an extent. So I like the bans there. Singularity gonna ban Omni Knight. I think that was a great ban. Secret only plays Abaddon or Omni offlane. So if you pick one, ban the other. It's only Enigma left, I think, for Kesu in his hero pool.
5 seconds remaining.
But he can play others. I'm not flaming.
Well, I mean, Omni Knight just as kind of this defensive type hero, we already saw what impact it could have in the last game. And OD, the way he works in the fight, like unlike an Ursa who just jumps in and just slaughters someone, OD usually needs a little bit of extra time in those engagements. Starts off pretty slow, but then things just get faster and faster as he's able to get more intelligence. And usually you gotta have some sort of security to make sure you just don't get insta-gibbed while you're trying to build up that int advantage. So Omni Knight usually is, and the Abaddon, I suppose, some of the heroes that you really want along with that OD to ensure that you do have a good time in those fights. So I really like that Omni Knight ban. And then, of course, Casey played it pretty well in the last game as well. So there is that to consider as well. And Secret, with this now Silencer ban, really trying their best to protect this OD and how he's going to perform. As you said, Nyx Assassin, Spike Carapace screws over OD pretty hard, and Silencer with that Global Silence kind of screws over the OD as well. So Secret really want this OD to have a good game, but Singularity pick up third Vengeful Spirit. Core Vengeful Spirit incoming, along with Core Ember Spirit and Abaddon. I'm not really sure if that's my favorite set of cores together.
Okay, so this is what happened. They know Secret wants the Enigma, and this is not a joke because they banned Silencer, and then they pick Venge, so they have something to counter the Enigma, even through BKB. And now Secret will be like, we don't care, we're gonna pick Enigma either way. I think that will happen, actually. I think it's a pretty likely chance they're gonna go Enigma here in third or fourth pick. Singularity, though, Venge, I guess, can... It's a very good carry with Abaddon, actually. They kind of do the same, they synergize well. They push towers pretty well. Venge kind of doesn't push towers incredibly, but with an Abaddon it becomes good. Good Roche, both of them are good Rochers. A lot of physical damage then, and Ember does the magic damage, so it kinda feel like this Tricore seems good, but picking a Tricore with your first 3 picks seems a bit odd. But it doesn't show insanely much either, because you can swap some of them.
Yeah, Vengeful Spirit can just as easily be played as a support. Get a little bit of less flexibility if you are going up against an Enigma, simply because you don't expect your swap to be level 2 for the vast majority of the game. And in that sense, it is going to cut into the effectiveness of the counter pick a little bit. But I mean, it's still a Vengeful Spirit, even though you may not have levels. You just get a couple points in Wave of Terror. Your Abaddon should still have his curse, and you could still go for that Roshan pretty reliably, assuming your safe laner has some sort of damage output, relevant damage output, versus that Roche. So yeah, I like how Singularity are kind of covering their bases with this. Although if it is going to end up being a core Venge and Abaddon Ember Spirit, it feels like with the core Venge you kind of have to start to get onto a little bit of a more aggressive start, and Abaddon can kind of do that, but Ember Spirit, really good at killing heroes, not really great versus killing towers. It seems like that'll be kind of all of the problems of these Singularity heroes. But either way, Secret already have the Crystal Maiden for that kind of passive jungling type hero. Now going to grab the Rubik, so yeah, a lot of control coming out of these 2 support picks from Secret, and still keeping themselves very, very open.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Absol, so they're gonna pick Rubik if they get the chance. It's very nice. I feel like there's a lot of like mind games going around the Enigma, so because they pick Rubik so that opponents can't pick Rubik and steal back hole, you know. So I feel like there's actually so much going around in the second phase surrounding Enigma. But I think they're gonna maybe choose something else if they come up with a hero that they feel is great. Like Legion is still not picked, and this is Legion meta right now. Like Legion is picked or banned first phase almost every game right now. Bounty Hunter being picked, that makes even more sense to get a Legion. He removes track. Not as good as a Abaddon does, but still pretty good. So I would like that pick quite a lot. It's just generally nice. You get another save. It's very good with OD too, because he's like a hero that don't have good sustain. But the pressed attack kind of makes up for it a little bit, so it kind of works still. They're gonna go with their carry. They want to leave their offlaner open. Slark is pretty good against Bounty as well. Can remove track, and there's not a lot of lockdown from Team Singularity. There's like bench stun and Ember Spirit chains, but Slark is not gonna get affected by those generally because he's gonna be either in ultimate or have Dark Pact coming up.
Yeah, they're very easy spells to see coming as a Slark. It just doesn't come out fast enough. So you can prep the pact, you can just jam your ultimate button, and you should be fine pretty much every single time. So I do like that pick for Team Secret. And as far as in lane is concerned, Slark has the extra mana now from the Crystal Maiden, and Rubik Slark is a very classic combo. Killing off an Abaddon, difficult but possible with this setup of heroes coming out from Team Secret. Not going to be that Legion Commander, which I think, like as another kind of pseudo defensive hero, as you mentioned, would have been pretty nice, especially since the pool of offlane heroes who are able to provide that defensive aspect, with the Omni Knight, Abaddon, and Legion all taken out, is kind of slim at this stage. So yeah, Kezu is gonna have a little bit of a interesting, or Puppy rather, is gonna have an interesting time picking for the offlane. As for Team Singularity, still really don't know if this Vengeful Spirit's going to be played as a core or a support, though it does look like with this Bounty Hunter kind of leaning towards that support role. You can kind of go for Venge Core and Bounty Hunter and just try to just snowball out of control, although that is a risky way to play.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what Secret's going to pick. I'm not sure what heroes are still left. Like, you can pick a Clock, the Starks here. Oh, yeah. Well, I called it, I guess, kind of. I feel like there were so few options left, so it was like Clock, Darkseer potentially, and then maybe something off like Bristle, but those heroes are not that strong without like a hero like Io or something that can kind of help him out. Clock is pretty good though. It's not an insanely good pick or anything. It doesn't like, oh, it counters that, or it's like it can initiate against that. It's kind of like you don't have many options left, so you're going Clock. It's a decent hero. And Singularity probably gonna go. They can pick something that kind of counters Clockwork now, but I don't feel like there's anything that's good. Because Ursa, for example, can wreck a Clockwork, but it's kind of bad against other heroes. So I think they're gonna stick to Avenge carry actually.
You don't really need to work too hard to shut down a Clockwork in lane. Just don't give him a 1v1 matchup. Then you should be fine. Just, you know, throw another half hero in there. Juggernaut is going to mean that the Vengeful Spirit carry is not a thing right now, and Jug will have a really good matchup versus that Clockwork. Spin, of course, makes him completely immune. He does have to worry about being burned out of mana, and that is somewhat of a concern. That's kind of Vengeful Spirit and the Bounty Hunter's job to make sure the Clockwork is kept away from the Juggernaut so those cogs don't land. But yeah, for Team Singularity right now, I do like where they've landed with their draft. I like the Vengeful Spirit as that support pick now. Just swap up against Clockwork, save whoever's going to get hit with that hook shot, and if it's Juggernaut, just swap him out of there. He'll have the spin to further back him out. Ember Spirit doesn't have to worry about all that many disables, and with a swap and a shield behind him, really slippery, really difficult to deal with. So yeah, Singularity seems like they have themselves a solid set of heroes, but for Team Secret, their experience, pretty much exactly what they showed us last game, it will be difficult for Team Singularity just on a raw skill-by-skill basis. And this Clockwork is going to work really well with this OD. Like, this combo, or can we even call it a combo? Clockwork just providing that wall for OD is pretty much exactly what you want as an Outworld Devourer. You don't want to be fighting people head-on. You want to be just shooting at them from a distance.
Yeah, I think both teams ended up with a pretty good draft. With I feel like the issue for Singularity this game is that they kind of rely on a good early game. You remember last game? They feel like they had a good early game and kind of made it into an even game, into mid game, and then kind of lost the late game. And I think they need this game to go good early game. Otherwise, they're not gonna get to that mid game to have a chance at winning the late game against Secret. So we're gonna see if they can manage to do an equally good early game, or if they're gonna struggle. Because the bounty is a bit riskier. I feel like that hero needs to get a better start than Ricky does. I think Ricky can generally be a kind of scouting and checking for wards, but Bounty tends to kind of need to be involved a bit more.
Man, Puppey and Elisash just had like the sickest juke session. I don't know if Elisash even saw Puppey a single time there. Crystal Maiden, 280 movement speed with the sickest of jukes, is going to place an Observer Ward. And Elisash does have a Sentry, and it will be just out of range. Oh, yeah, I feel like if the CM got spotted at all, then that would have been this Observer Ward probably cleaned out, but keeping himself safe. By the way, up towards top lane, there's a little bit of a scuffle here. On to K-Sor. Is there any detection? There is dust, but MP is going to be the one to jump out. K-Sor with the shield, not going to be an easy pickoff. And forcing MP now probably all the way back to his base shrine will pretty much 100% secure Singularity, a 3-to-1 rune advantage.
Yeah, but it happened the first game as well. That time it was kind of Secret abandoning a rune, and this time this is also the weakness of what's kind of becoming a meta, where you carry both double slippers of agility. I think Juggernaut did not, but a lot of times you see this, and it's kind of easy to zone, you know, especially with a hero like Bounty, who has a lot of armor compared to like Ricky. If Ricky starts hitting someone, they start killing Ricky very fast, while Bounty is much more survivable and can kind of manfight there. Gonna harass Puppey a bit. Not sure how efficient this is. It's just kind of trading each other's time.
Okay, so he's going to do a lot more damage to Puppey than vice versa. Another Frostbite comes out. Puppey is low on health, low on mana. Is going to get Yapsor to arrive, and the dust does land. Puppey doesn't have another Frostbite, though. CM right-clicks, going to have to kill off this 6 armor bounty hunter. And I'm not really sure if that's in the cards.
You care.
Into the invis once again. This time no dust on him, and well, Puppey is going to have to go all the way back. That is one satchel of dust down the tubes. This K-Sor is going to be already a pretty successful roaming bounty hunter, messing with these two supports, getting a TP, getting a dust, getting the CM out of the jungle, and I would expect him to continue to screw with the CM. Something we don't really see all that often. CM jungles usually are pretty quiet, but is susceptible to just being poked at a little bit by Rickies and bounty hunters.
Yeah, very good space there. Kind of, like I said, he trades space with Crystal Maiden, but in that scenario he kind of traded not only with CM but also Rubik. So this gives Abaddon 5 last hits, which is very nice for him. I'm not sure how the other lanes will go. I'm assuming Nisha will struggle. I'm not too familiar with the matchups. I guess Nisha first spotted mid one last game, so maybe he'll do it again. Who knows?
There's a sentry ward right now for the secret side, so as far as Nisha expecting help from the Ricky, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get in on that OD. And well, the Imprison usually is just going to stop Nisha in his tracks. Like, even if you do land a set of chains, usually it's not going to do all that much. Yapzor will throw K-Sor away up towards top, get themselves a couple of bounty runes. I think we look at the bottom lane now. Exotic Deer with the cogs. He has Battery Assault at the ready. He's just going to keep himself safe. Jug out of mana. It does have a Mango, does have a Clarity, so he can get maybe a little bit of gas to kill off KZU, but I'm not really sure if driving this Clockwork out of the lane is really feasible for the Singularity safe lane.
KZU has been playing this offlane really well so far. I think he hit two-man power cogs, or at least one two-man power cogs, and then a few on Jagger alone. And this is really making him stand strong in this lane. I think he started Windlace to go into Fast Tranquils, which is kind of a new build, so to say, which is pretty nice actually. I think Clockwork might be the only hero where it's kind of viable. Can't really come up with more other than that for now, but he's doing really well on this lane, unless I jinxed him. No. Venge is not a good support against Clockwork. You do not really pressure him well, and this might be a forced Mango usage to get a spin-off. Yeah, you see, he's playing amazing actually.
Solid play from the Clockwork. It'll be even better for him as this lane progresses, as CM picks up more points in the aura. Clockwork not really a kind of a mana budget hero, but just being able to throw down even more cogs, use Battery Assault just for random damage tick as harassment tool. Definitely very useful for KZU. And as you said, the Vengeful Spirit, just being a low range hero herself, cannot drive KZU out of lane without putting herself in a lot of trouble. She doesn't have nearly enough movement speed to stay safe. 300 versus the outrageous 380 picked up by KZU's item build right now. So if he's able to touch the Vengeful Spirit once, she is just going to die to a level 2 Battery Assault, and there's not much you can do about that as a Vengeful Spirit. And speaking of, he's going to charge in. We can see Elisash just kind of panicking, needs to get into some sort of creep wave neutrals or his own creep wave or something if he's going to survive that. Up towards top lane is a much different story. MP is going to be driven away from the lane for right now. Is having a little bit of difficulty, and there is an Abaddon who's having a great time as well. KZU is managing his lane fantastically, but this Abaddon doesn't really have all that much to fear just up against these two heroes. Puppey is nowhere near top. He's going all the way down towards bottom.
I think Secret are fine with this though, kind of sacking MP to an extent. The problem is kind of mid, but like a minute ago, mid one was kind of getting crushed, but now he not sure if who got the rune. I guess Ember didn't get a rune, kind of had to go jungling. He went on Iron Talon actually. This is not very common. I have not seen this before myself, at least.
Bottom spin, gonna land full onto the Clockwork. Cogs go up, and Puppey will get a return kill because he has a double damage rune. Now Yapzor is gonna come in as well with the right clicks. CM 38 plus 38, sick DPS onto Exotic Deer now as Yapzor and Puppey will finalize the last hit on the last hero in this bottom lane. It is going to cost them a Clockwork, but man, CM and Rubik with that level acceleration is no small deal either. Faster level 6 on Rubik is huge, getting Puppey more nuking power, more points in the aura faster. Works out pretty well for Secret after all is said and done.
Yeah, did Puppey have a DD at the start there?
Yeah, he had DD like the entire time.
Yeah, that's pretty crucial right there. And that was kind of lucky by Singularity, because they got the first blood before the Venge died, even though they died almost at the same time. And that could have been even worse then. So Secret, a bit unfortunate in that regard, but still made a better trade overall. No Poorman Shield on Juggernaut actually. He took a lot of damage. If he had a Poorman Shield, those last few auto attacks would not have done any damage almost. They would probably survive. But that's the disadvantage of what he did compared to what MP did at the start, you know, because MP kind of got zoned early because he wanted the Poorman Shield, while Jagger kind of backfired here. That's kind of how Dota works. And then mid one, this is steep, but his Astral Imprisonment spell is pretty good.
Oh, Shuriken, still a lot of damage, jumps in, and Nisha will get the kill, along with this Bounty Hunter onto the OD, who pushed the lane out pretty far. Kind of a bold move to begin with, seeing as though there was no one showing in the lane, so, I mean, where could the Ember possibly be? He's going to give up his life. These cores from Singularity are doing pretty darn well. Even though Exotic Deer, yes, is going to have to deal with these mana issues from the cogs, still CSing to his heart's content. Abaddon up towards top lane is, again, running around unchallenged, especially with the TPs. going towards the bottom lane. Abaddon level 6 is never going to die to a Slark at around the same farm and experience level. So Singularity, they're getting all they want on the core. Is really just the supports who are going to potentially struggle. And that can very easily be smoothed over by the fact that the Bounty Hunter is getting quite a bit of experience. So level 6 track on the Bounty Hunter means that all your supports will eventually recover into the lane. They're going to try to go for Keizu right now. Spin is going to do not that much damage. He used it very early, and Sash can't get in range for the missile. It will be the survival of the Clockwork on bottom.
Yeah, that was pretty good for Keizu. He's doing the best in his team for sure, because he's an offlaner and he's almost top net worth in his team. Oh, Abaddon. I don't think.
Well, they forced out.
I think he's dead.
Yeah, they forced out his ultimate with Puppey still having the frostbite afterwards. MP is going to leash him down even further. Pact will explode the Knight, and that'll kill off Patos up towards top lane. Very, very patient setup there by the Secret side, and killing off a 2800 net worth hero 8 minutes in the game. Again, no small feat. CM level 5 now. Yapzor I expect to be very similar. It will be exactly the same, and he's going to teleport over in mid, where mid one is 2v1ing. Ember Spirit's going to pop out, and he's almost dead already with the Nova and the Fade Bolt. They'll nuke him before he can get out to his Remnant. Even the Flare coming in just for good measure. And that's Secret's supports just steamrolling this game, whereas the same cannot be said about Singularities.
Really good rotation. Oh, bottom lane is going to be some sort of man fight here. And I'm so scared for both players.
It's tough to make that play as the Clockwork, even though Battery Assault does a disgusting amount of single target damage. If the Jug is in the creep wave, you can't really count on it. You don't really want to be rolling those dice either. So it'll be a man fight with no winner, I guess. Facility's got the hook shot. He already used it once, and didn't see it, but I assume it didn't really do all that much. But hey, it's up again. And Keizu with this build of maxed out Battery Assault can continue to hunt down these supports, and to some lesser extent the Juggernaut as well, if he's able to kind of prepare his mana beforehand.
By the way, Abaddon, I'm not sure if this was a mistake, but I didn't see the entire laning. So, but generally, when you hit 6, you don't want to skill borrowed time instantly, and I think he did, and that's a big reason why he died top, because generally you don't have it skilled, so it won't trigger, you know, when you get low. Bottom lane Keizu, will he get out? I feel like he will, somehow. I don't know how, but...
You just have that feeling? Like a hook shot over to K-Sor? Like that feeling? And then the Battery Assault will keep him safe?
I'm that call. No one believed me. I'm pretty sure no one in chat. I think chat already started flaming me when I said it. And then they had to delete it before they posted it.
It's almost as if you've played the offlane before, dude.
Yeah, I know. I got that feeling, you know. That's what happens. But like I said, you don't want to skill Abaddon ultimate because then when they trigger it, they can just use all lockdown then. But if you don't have it skilled, they're gonna be forced to use lit, and then he pops it instantly and runs away before CM is in range. But he might have had to skill it before, so I'm not certain if it was like a pure mistake play or if it was just kind of what happened because of consequences from earlier.
Yeah, well, the Abaddon's death on the top lane is going to give some cash over to Secret, the supports especially, but still he's having a grand old time on the top lane, level 9. Hand of Midas very close to completion as well, and we all know what ridiculous amounts of impact Abaddon can have, even a damaging capacity once he gets the Hand of Midas, accelerating that into a Radiance. It can be pretty dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, swap back onto the OD, though he will dodge the Magic Missile. Puppey's going to come in, start to drive everyone else back. Mid one is just going to get some safety here. They dust up looking for the bounty. Can't quite see him. There's a lot of heroes rotating over towards the mid lane for Secret just to defend their OD. Mission success, I suppose, but yeah, it's still a pretty expensive use of these heroes. But it seems like Keizu is going to slide all the way up towards the top lane where there is a target here in the Abaddon. Abaddon can survive the Clockwork Hookshot if he just beats his way out of the cogs. MP with the Pact will do a little bit of damage from the outsets. Battery Assault still ticking away, and Patos is going to get now pounced up by MP. Another Pact incoming, lots of nuke damage, and that will kill off this Abaddon one more time. Keizu, hookshot, pretty darn good.
Yeah, very well played by Keizu. I think he's playing the best in his team right now. In this game, that is. I'm not talking about generally, because I think mid one is probably a step above him lately. I think mid one is, I would say during Kiev, I thought he was gonna become the best player in the world in Kiev, but then they got knocked out a bit early, so I can't really make the statement. But that was really well played so far in this game, and seeing heroes trying to cast spells while they're on their battery assault is always a nice pleasure.
Battery assault maxed out. It's just that crippling spell, and it feels pretty bad when you're trying to do that. Oh, Flare perfectly scouting out that Juggernaut, keeping mid one safe once again. He's got the Hand of Midas, much like the Abaddon. It's going to be taken away in favor of the OD. Slark, what is he up to up on top lane? He's been getting a couple kills on the Abaddon, but he's been kind of bullied in between those kills. Got Iron Talon Power Treads, and I assume he already has part of the Shadow Blade. He does. Over towards mid lane now. Keizu, hook shot, stunning up two heroes. Cog as well, pushing back the Vengeful Spirit. The Freezing Field, only on the Ember Spirit, but will get the kill. Elisasha sees one more tap. Keizu, Flare in 12. I don't really know if that's feasible right now, but we'll see.
I believe.
Prophet Kefka, tell us, will this be a kill? No, it's
won't.
Shrine, right?
Yeah, it won't. But I want to believe, but oh, he's not using it. This is ballsy. Oh my god, if he got killed now.
He's gonna flare Exotic Deer. Oh well. Still, it's gonna be a great reinforcement play once again from Team Secret. Freezing Field to kill off an Ember Spirit level 10 with that Veil of Discord. Quite a lot of bounty going towards Team Secret. And speaking of bounty, he does have his track up, but so far not getting any benefits off of it.
Our dear Clockwork is rushing a use. Somewhat rare, but there's a lot of uses for it, and I want to list all of them, but I'm gonna wait with that.
I think he's dead this time, I want to say. He's going to try to run to the side. MP's going to arrive, but he will fall. Track sneaks in at the last possible second. Juggernaut is going to Omni Slash, but still go down to the spinning Rubik, who's going to try to back off with the Fade Bolt. Still will get picked off. MP pounce, going to get him over the cliffside. Elisash going to give chase, but can't do anything else. 2 for 1 with, I assume, 2 of these kills both being track. I know one of them at least was, but the second one probably was as well. Singularity make a pretty decent trade over in bottom. This time Secret not rotating in whole hog, leaving Puppey up towards top lane to get a little bit of farm.
MP really sad there because he had the Shadow Blade incoming, or he had it, but they fought right before he could get there, you know, so... Oh, this is gonna be... Oh, everyone TPing in, actually.
MP is gonna get the burst damage onto Elisash, but a swap out is gonna keep him safe. MP now, in his ultimate form, is gonna survive. Now the Freezing Field from Puppey, not gonna be chain cancelled. Nisha's gonna have to jump out to the side, will get dropped by mid one's ultimate. Still the Freezing Field is being channeled. They'll zap down the Abaddon. Keizu, does he have a hook shot? He does. I don't think he has any targets, though. So they will fall back, but full channel Freezing Field destroys Singularity's health pool. Plus the fact that MP was able to get the Freedom of Initiation with that Shadow Blade and is looking for a little bit more. Is going to find Kaysor. Pounce Pact will do a lot. Not quite enough. Clockwork, got him. Double Sentry Wards just for celebration. Clockwork, Keizu is on fire, man.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's the greatest pick, but if you can play like this, it's probably always a good pick.
And also MP doing the work to actually get that kill. You know, credit to you too, Slark.
I'm not sure. He's playing a Slark. Can you really give him credit for anything?
Dirty Slark picker.
However, the Yules, like I mentioned, it's this item is super good against Abaddon because at least early level is a borrow time when it's he actually steered it to level 2. I like to keep it at level 1 personally, but when the ultimate procs, you use him, so half the duration is wasted. It's a very nice way of dealing with it. It removes track for yourself, and it also removes flaming guard, and then you can follow up with cogs for the insta stun, you know, so you can't just get out. So there's a lot of good uses, and then like dodging, bench stun, and blah blah. I won't mention those two.
Well, it's also great at initiating onto the Juggernaut as well. Like you just put him in the cogs and not take any spin or Omni Slash damage.
Yeah, it's a great item. I'm pretty happy about this choice. I feel like the disadvantage of Clock is that you can go this like, oh, it's a smart item, but then when it comes to practicality, it doesn't actually work. So I'm a bit worried about that happening.
Oh, Yapzor. He has a shield so he can get rid of this track. Telekinesis onto the Vengeful Spirit, who's actually leading the charge. Everyone and their mom is teleporting in. Hookshot's gonna go wide, and Clockwork's gonna be shredded by 5. I think we may have jinxed him. Puppey this time, Freezing Field is going to be cancelled by a swap immediately. Mid-1 is going to start building up that int as Yapzor's going to jump in with all his stolen remnants. It's going to do very little. though. It's mostly running into the spin. Puppey's still alive at 20 HP. Case and Sash probably can't finish the kill here. So I'll be driven away by this OD. He's stolen quite a bit of int right now. Force Staff is available for him. Is he going to shove Yapzor in? MP in the meantime killing off Nisha. Yapzor gets forced in. 13 seconds left. Elisash does not have a TP. I don't think he's fast enough to escape. Oh, maybe. They're still going after this Venge. The TPs are coming in. MP's just killing fools in the back end while I'm watching this stupid chase. Okay, well, I'm sorry, MP. Disrespect the Slark. He's been killing people all the while.
Yeah, there was some... oh, it was so close for Singularity. I think Puppet was like 15 HP or something after the Shuriken toss, and he survived because of Raindrop. And then like all these small things, and they kind of lost the fight pretty badly. Even though there was like a pretty weird initiation. The Fire Remnant from Yapzor. Like, there was like 5 people, and Cassie just threw the hookshot in the middle of everyone. It didn't hit anything. It was pretty funny. At least it didn't hit a teammate, so you could like kind of bait them in by dying, you know.
And Yule Scepter, great item to have, but unfortunately not up yet on the clockwork. It's almost there. So next time that happens, he wanders into the wrong neighborhood. Yule Scepter to buy yourself just a few precious seconds may be the difference. Yapzor surviving a lot in this game. 5, 1, and 4. Only 1 death in this Rubik. Now has mobility and then some between the Blink Dagger and the Fire Remnants. And maybe Ember Spirit feeling the full force of it right now. Hit with the Flare. So Keizu has some tracking. Not going to dive a tier 2 tower. Maybe a little bit too deep to go without that Yule Scepter prepped just yet. Still Secret. Mid 1. Doing pretty well in that last fight. Just able to stand his ground and just right-click things. And Slark not being respected at all by Singularity. No one able to get on top of and match MP and the damage output he's able to put out. Singularity just kind of focusing on the wrong heroes in that last fight, it seems. But almost out of necessity, because if they don't, they get slain by this Crystal Maiden in her full channel freezing field. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario there, as Secret are going to wander around the map all the way from the south lane all the way to top, where there will be a handful of targets. Exotic Deer and Patos, both difficult to kill off, but very feasible. Here comes Keizu. He's going to jump in, put the cogs up. Exotic Deer going to try to straight TP out. He'll be fine. And so will the Abaddon. He teleported out.
Yeah, that's a good play. You know, like, there's only one way you die. And that's... like, there's only one way to survive, but it's pretty easy to pull it off, rather. That's what I meant. The hookshot level... was one thing about Clockwork is that it's kind of nice against these heroes that you can hookshot and then you cog them back into your team. But it's super hard to pull off until you have level 2 in hookshot, because level 1 is only 1 second stun, so it's hard to get behind the hero in time. And then they're just gonna spin or jump out as Ember or whatever. But he's getting close to level 12, and then that becomes a play. However, he went Yulesy he has another way of doing it, which is very nice.
That feeling when you're not level 12 yet as Clockwork, but your friendly Crystal Maiden is level 13 with the Hand of Midas.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Yeah, Puppey's just not dying. Like, actually he hasn't died yet. 1, 0, and 10. Hurricane Pike on the OD is going to put a little damage into Nisha. Yapzor and MP both going to arrive, jumping onto the Vengeful Spirit, and they will grind her down with the ultimate from mid 1. Huge Eclipse, now trying to focus down onto Nisha. Not quite there. With the damage, Healing Ward will be taken out. Yapzor, he has a Blink Dagger forward. He's going to get the Fade Bolt instead. No need for the Blink, as MP, the Shadow Dance, is going to fall back. They're going to blind Hookshot, looking for that Bounty Hunter. They won't find anything else, it seems. They'll drop a hell of a lot of detection on the floor. But it still will be a 2-pick here for Secret. Keeping their OD safe, though it looked like a really sticky situation. We'll all be fine, and now teleporting over towards bottom, where Patos is going to lose a lot of int. Borrowed time? What borrowed time? You're in the bubble. You're going to pop out with a couple seconds of invulnerability. Gets a Fade Bolt worth of healing, but that's not going to help. So much damage from mid 1. And Keizu jumping up towards top lane. They Goomba Stomp the Clockwork. At least Singularity get that kill, but it's going to cost them a hell of a lot.
Yeah, a lot of action. Not sure why Keizu stayed. I guess he kind of was securing the tower or something. Maybe not thinking, maybe trying to land a rocket, you know, kind of stuff like that happens, so you're not focusing. MP though, he's under a sentry right now, and does he know? I think he figured it out now. Yeah,
he's still gonna go for Exotic Deer very boldly, just chipping him down. Crystal Maiden Illusion in the area will probably make Exotic Deer panic a little bit, and Kaysor can get jumped by the Rubik in the back. Gets picked off by the Slark in the end. His Exotic Deer is gonna drive himself out towards the north. YapzOr seems like he's just everywhere. These supports on Secret, I mean, I said it earlier, it's just the tipping factor, and they've outstripped their friendly Clockwork in farm. As great as this Clockwork has been playing, it seems like he's just not been surviving these engagements, whereas everyone else has. There's a lift up. Ultimate from Patos, once again going to be countered by the bubble. This time, gets no healing whatsoever, and he will fall again. This tower is probably going to fall, and Elisash even is going to get jumped on. They barely saw him, but the pounce misses. And that should keep the Venge safe.
Oh, I feel so bad for... Oh, they're actually going. Oh, they're trading lives.
Puppey, freezing field. Once again with the full channel is going to stay safe. So easy to kill with the Ember Spirit, but he can't get out because Puppey gets out of there. YapzOr stole swap, and he'll still keep the CM alive. Now Nisha can lose all his into mid one. Blade Mail be damned. I've never seen a Crystal Maiden survive this long. Level 14, and it just seems like they're rallying around her every single time. Juggernaut, the sole survivor, will not have an Omni Slash to defend. Now, Secret aren't healthy. They're probably going to back off, but man, they just got swapped into the enemy base and came out the victors.
Oh, that was so well played.
Oh, exotic tier!
Oh my god!
Get wrecked,
so
son.
Well. Oh, they're playing so good, Secret, right now. They stepped up from last game, everyone. And they weren't playing bad last game. They're just playing insane right now. They're greeding a lot as well. That's... what? The Kessie has a lava pace, but he's not going for Midas. I'm not seeing any Midas recipe anywhere, so it's a bit weird there. I'm not sure what's happening there, but the swap from YapzOr was so good, and Singularity just getting a little outplayed on like everyone, but then it just becomes a massacre when that happens.
MP looking for a repeat play. Same one he made before. Sentry is in the area. It's not going to help Elisash though. Lifted up, Fade Bolt, and down, even though Patos has arrived to heal technically. A little bit too late. MP, once again with the assassination techniques, now has that silver edge, making it a lot easier to do so in the future. Gem will be passed to the Slark, so MP will keep the Singularity side blind. Now, Singularity still have not yet had to crash the Roche pit, but I do feel like it's probably just a matter of time before mid one is... Well, it's actually killing fools in the meantime, so maybe he won't go for Roche. Why go for Roche when you can go for Nisha? Just one more orb, he's still in the trees. Stay in the trees. Oh, sleight of fist and a jump out. Will survive unless Clockwork feels particularly baller right now. He's going to go up towards top lane though. Cog pushback onto the Juggernaut. MP's damage output, how much is it? It's enough. Patos is going to arrive to a dead Juggernaut. That's not where he wants to be. His ultimate's going to be popped, but Eul Scepter, just like you described, will delay a lot of that ultimate off. Now MP re-initiating back in with the pounce. And mid one, though he did go down over towards bottom, is actually going to be just the only casualty here for Secret.
Yeah, still very good that he killed mid one. That's like killing mid one for 2 cores is not the greatest, but it's still like a decent trade. The only thing is that Abaddon has kind of got wrecked by his like timings, you know. Like when he died bottom lane earlier, when he was trading for the tower, he was like 50 gold away from Relic, and then he ran TP'd out the lane and died again. So, and then like he died when he's trying to finish his so close to finishing items, and then the Radiance has been delayed by like at least 5 minutes now.
Oh, hook shot into the Ember Spirit. Cog pushback with the stun from YapzOr. He's going to steal swap just for later. Anisha will jump out of there in time, albeit barely, but his allies, the supports, don't have that same luxury. It'll be Secret crashing the party yet again. Killing off another tower. Mid one is not needed apparently. CM is level 16. Swap out, still stolen by the Rubik. Blinks back. So just hooks the Abaddon back into the cogs, and now the Frostbite is there. His ultimate is not going to do anything. And he at least used his Hand of Midas. Could have been worse, but Radiance is now looking like a distant dream for this hero.
Yeah, been pretty rough. He had like such a good start, you know, and like he also had like a good follow-up, but then like a few missteps, and not even like big misplays. Like maybe his team should have played better around him. Like he should have been like, okay, I need the Radiance, you need to stand behind me. Like I need to take the gold for it.
Look at what YapzOr is doing. He's on the front lines as Rubik, knowing that he has borrowed time. He wants to steal something a little bit better to make some bigger plays with, but he's just making space for the Slark and OD. Yes, the Rubik is doing that. And hey, that's the Rax taken. over in bottom. They're going to slide over towards the mid lane. MP has moon shards. Usually not a great tower pusher, but hey, when you have this many items, it's all good. They're going to jump in onto the Ember Spirit. He'll survive because of the swap, but the Vengeful Spirit will not. Ember's gonna get another item in the Solar Crest. It's something for right now, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be enough. Hookshot in is gonna lock down the Abaddon. Triple jump in. They're mostly gonna be focusing in towards MP, but into the Shadow Dance he'll go. Now Puppey gonna let it go all over Singularity, and they'll focus down Nisha. It's Patos, and now Exotic Deer, all to fall to the Sanity's Eclipse. Ultra kill for mid one. And the first time in probably ever, Crystal Maiden ends the game with 0 deaths.
Yeah. Against the bounty as well. I hear that generally kills him. I think the Secret played really well, and not getting the Radiance timing properly kind of made this game impossible for Singularity. I mean, Secret, this was a dominant game. They played really well. Everyone made some sort of sick play this game.
And I mean, Singularity, they had their 3 cores doing pretty well in the early and laning stage. Like, no one was getting absolutely demolished. They were all, performing just fine despite the, just fine performance of the Team Secret's cores. But it just seemed like Ellis, Sash, and Kesor, they just couldn't match what Puppey and Yapzor were doing. The rotations from CM and Rubik, wherever they went, death followed, and Ellis, Sash, and Kesor just didn't make those rotations. Wherever they went, it was mostly to try to save one of their allies, and then they themselves kind of got